Caitlin was not doing? Yes. They both needed each other in that moment. It created the conversation. And then, as I said it would, it launched a great platform for this year's tournament, which was very heavily watched, the most ever. And Caitlin came back better than she was the year before. And LSU was good again. And then they matched up again. And then Iowa won this time. And then they both went into the draft, and now they are both in the WNBA, and we care about both of these players. There are a lot of people that care about Angel Reese. That doesn't mean she's as good as Caitlin.
You ever wonder if Angel Reese is boosting her stats just to pad her jersey sales? Look, stat padding has been part of the game for decades. It's nothing new. In fact, it's often celebrated, especially when athletes hit big milestones or break records. But here's the twist.
It also doesn't mean that what she's saying is not true, because multiple things can be true at the same time. Everything in life is not existing in a vacuum. Just because she said this does not mean that Caitlin Clark is not great and that people are not watching because Caitlin Clark is great. All she is saying is, and she is factually correct, the two needed each other. She was a part of that. And it's inarguable because that is what happened. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark on these shows. We were not debating women's sports and women's basketball on these shows before that moment happened.
It's no secret. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever have been in the spotlight all season. They've become the face of the WNBA right now. But with all that attention, there's some tension building. Other players are growing frustrated with the idea that people are only watching the league because of Clark. And honestly, that narrative is starting to wear thin.
I think so many people are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. It's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game, and Kennedy has been here before, obviously, but there are so many great players in this league that have deserved this for a really, really long time, and luckily, it's coming now.
Now, don't get it twisted. Caitlin Clark has done incredible things for the league, and no doubt, she's going to keep making waves. But let's not pretend she's the only reason people tune in. Fans show up for players like Angel Reese, too. In fact, Reese recently spoke out about this exact narrative, one that puts all the shine on Clark while sidelining the rest.
Like I said, please make sure you tell everybody you know about my YouTube videos so that way they can become subscribers too, get all these great videos in their mailbox, as well as take advantage of all the savings on all the items that you see me do the online jersey reviews on, just like you do. All right, let's go ahead and take a look and see what's inside of this package. As always, there is a disclaimer that I use. There is a tracking number on each and every item that you purchase. It's right here, and you can track your items all the way from point of sale all the way to your mailbox. All right, let's go ahead and take a look and see what's inside of this package. I have my trusty scissors available. Cut the wrapper, get it? Cut the wrapper, ready to go to work. And I usually put just a little slit in here just to get it open. I don't want to cut my product,
That sparked a wave of backlash from fans. Many rushed to defend Clark, and understandably so. Like we said earlier, she's done wonders for the WNBA and continues to make history with every game. But let's be real, she's not the only reason. The league is growing. Viewership is up, sure. But if you really want to measure a player's impact, check the jersey sales. And in this case, the numbers speak louder than any debate.
I've always watched Candace Parker on me. She's been an amazing player, a big guard. I always admire her. When I came here, since I couldn't get 10, I wanted to get 3, but I was like, wait, Candace is going to get her jersey retired very soon. So I knew she was going to get her jersey retired soon because she's an amazing player, amazing mom, amazing person, and she's always been super inspiring to me. So I always will love her and watch her games.
She's 6'25", and Angel Reese will soon be sporting a new number on the court. The Chicago Sky, I gotta get used to saying that now, the Chicago Sky has revealed her jersey number. This comes just days after the LSU star was drafted to the WNBA. So Reese will wear the number 5 with the Sky, moving on from number 10 at LSU. And get this, the black and blue jersey is going for $122 online right now. After the announcement, Angel Reese posted on X saying, "Let's get a sellout and also pay them ladies." Pay them good.
Maybe now, Angel Reese can finally start getting the credit she deserves for her role in the WNBA's rise. Because let's not forget, she was a huge reason that Sky versus Fever matchup made history. It wasn't just one player driving the hype. It was the clash, the rivalry, the energy both brought to the court.
The WNBA just had its most successful first month in 26 years, and the league released the data to prove it. Attendance, viewership, merchandise, it's all up, way up. But digging into the data reveals an unexpected story, which is that the growth is not just the Caitlin Clark effect. It's more robust than that, and here's the proof. The WNBA said that over half of its games were sellouts, which means that in the month of May, there were at least 22 games or more that sold out, but the Indiana Fever only played 9. I'll let you do the math. To be clear, this is not a diss against Clark, but the WNBA's growth has been staring us in the face.
To prove just how big her impact really is, Angel Reese did something no one saw coming. News broke that her jersey was completely sold out for the entire WNBA season. Let that sink in. This isn't just hype. Reese had already made waves before. She even played a pro game. She topped all March Madness players in merchandise sales, with just one merch drop. At first, it kind of makes sense. UConn's NCAA championship win over South Carolina drew massive attention. ESPN's third most watched women's title game ever, averaging 8.6 million viewers and peaking at nearly 10 million. And in college basketball, no one really questioned the numbers. No one cared whether the hype was fact or fiction. But the WNBA, that's a whole different ballgame. Just days after the Chicago Sky drafted Angel Reese with the 7th overall pick, her jerseys, 5 different versions, sold out on the WNBA online store. Ticket sales spiked. The former Bayou Barbie, now rebranded as Chi Barbie, didn't just make a splash, she took over. She claimed the top 2 best-selling jerseys in the league right in the middle of record-setting sales across the board. And while the debate around Reese and Caitlin Clark can get heated, let's be honest, their rivalry is pure gold for women's basketball. From packed arenas to TV ratings to blockbuster media deals, the sport is booming. And it's booming because people care. Not just about one player, but about both of them. Yeah, a lot of those new fans are buying Clark and Reese jerseys. But not exactly for the reason Reese claimed.
This is said to be the best-selling merchandise in WNBA history. For the longest time, the W has had many iconic-looking jerseys that probably sold well in the past, but what's considered the best-selling merch in the league's history is not even a jersey, but a hoodie. In 2009 of December, Ev Jones created an orange hoodie with the league's logo in a white silhouette printed on it, right? The next thing she knew, she was being contacted by Kobe Bryant, who's given one of their designs as a chance. Kobe and Gigi appeared at the Mavs-Lakers game wearing the Mamba-supported orange WNBA hoodies. Boom, rest is history. By the start of the 2020 season, other WNBA players started wearing them during warm-ups. The hoodie, the league itself witnessed the rise in popularity and sales. Thanks all to Kobe, who sadly passed that same year. But a statue with Gigi immortalized on the crypto.com, her statue.
And here's the real kicker. WNBA merchandise sales are up 500% this season. According to the Sports Business Journal, it's the rookie class that's fueling this record-breaking surge. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. They hold the top 2 spots. In jersey sales, Clark at number 1, Reese at number 2. But it doesn't stop there. Fanatics reported a jaw-dropping 1,000% increase in player-specific merchandise sales across the league. That's not just hype, that's impact.
You literally go on Twitter and you search Rookie of the Year, Angel Reese. It is like everybody talking about why she's not a good basketball player. Yes, okay, a lot of her rebounds are her own rebounds, but she's having a historic season just like Caitlin Clark is, and I think that she deserves a lot more credit than what she's getting.
Can we stop? See, so that right there is part of the problem. Let's stop comparing her to Caitlin Clark. Like, let's not.
I'm saying people are doing that. No, I said she's having a historic season just like Caitlin Clark.
This is just the latest proof of the immediate impact that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have made, not only on the court, but on the bottom line of basketball. The truth has been out for a while now, and it's crystal clear. These two are changing the game. They first made waves by driving record ratings for the NCAA women's basketball tournament in back-to-back years. Right as that happened, the NCAA tripled its media rights deal with ESPN for the women's tournament. Then, they carried that momentum into the WNBA, starting with the draft, continuing into the first half of the regular season, and peaking earlier this week with the most-watched WNBA All-Star game in history. That game featured Clark and Reese playing together as WNBA All-Stars against Team USA, and the league has felt the impact. The WNBA just secured a $2.2 billion TV deal, a groundbreaking contract that some say may even undervalue the league's current worth. ESPN will pay the WNBA $200 million annually over the next 11 years, compared to the $30 million per year from the current deal. But that's not all. Clark and Reese have both been the standout rookies this season, proving why they're household names after their time at Iowa and LSU. Clark currently leads the league in assists with 8.2 per game. Reese is leading the Indiana Fever in scoring, putting up 17.1 points per game. She also set a WNBA record for the most assists in a single game, 19, and made history as the first rookie ever to record a triple-double. Meanwhile, Reese broke the record for consecutive double-doubles, 15 straight, while averaging 13.5 points and 12 rebounds per game for the Chicago Sky before the All-Star and Olympic break. These two are not just playing, they're shaping the future of women's basketball.
Let's talk about the financial part of this too, because there's no max salary in this new CBA. The 2025 minimum salary is going to be $48,500, and then that will be $82,500 by 2030. This document, I think, kind of says, okay, we've got to figure out, as money flows into the league, how do we make sure it gets in the player pockets?
When you tie things to revenue, that means if the league profits, so if they have another blockbuster media deal, for example, if that suddenly jumps to some blockbuster number.
By now, it's clear. Their jerseys are here to stay in WNBA arenas for the foreseeable future. Chicago Sky star Angel Reese has become one of the most popular players in women's basketball today. In fact, she's the most followed WNBA athlete on Instagram, boasting an impressive 4.8 million followers, given that it's no surprise that Reese could be padding the stats when it comes to merchandise sales. When Unrivaled Basketball announced that her jerseys were available for sale online, fans flocked to the site, eager to grab Reese's number 5 jersey. But here's the catch. The stock didn't last long. Some fans even voiced frustrations that there might not have been enough merch available to meet the demand. And honestly, it's hard to blame them. It remains to be seen if Unrivaled will listen and restock Reese's jerseys, or expand the availability of other players' gear. But here's the silver lining. This whole situation is a strong sign that the interest in the league and in players like Reese is alive and well. Even when the season ends, the buzz doesn't fade. And when that buzz is this strong, it's just the beginning.
I think I speak for all of us when I say the WNBA is still suffering from delusion.
I'm hearing they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, we sitting out.
That's a possibility, for real.
Wait a minute, what? How much you need?
I don't think I should get paid the same as LeBron.
Y'all didn't even use Caitlin Clark right. Y'all don't make enough money.
Caitlin Clark, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line. You should have seen that from day one and maximized it, but you didn't do it.
The Players Association recently released its most up-to-date collective bargaining agreement, CBA, to the public, offering a detailed look at the contractual rules governing everything from player compensation to trades and much more through 2030. For the first time, the unedited document takes transparency to the next level, including specific protections for player data, such as usage and privacy rights, as well as regulations surrounding the compensation of name, image, and likeness, NIL usage. But then, things took an unexpected turn. Reese's earlier claims about her jerseys being sold out. Well, it quickly became clear that they were nothing but misleading. And on top of that, fans started realizing that some of Reese's impressive rookie stats might have been inflated, thanks to some questionable garbage time stat padding. It didn't take long for fans to take action. Reese was roasted on social media, and now it seems like the fans are no longer just sitting by while this unfolds.
Reese, great. But her team, after that, they were, and you can't say they're not stat padding because the game against the Fever, all the starters were out and Angel Reese was still in, and so she could get her double-double, right? And then there was a game, I forget who they were playing, but they were losing by 20 again. And they pulled all the starters but Angel Reese. As soon as she gets the double-double, they pull her out the game. That's stat padding.
The 22-year-old has been accused of stat padding multiple times this season, and things only got worse when it was revealed that not only did she fake her jersey stats, but also her scoring record. Reese has had a double-double in 6 of the Sky's 7 games since the Olympic break, but here's the kicker. The team has gone 1-7 in those games. Fans are starting to notice and criticize her for being more focused on her individual stats than the success of the team. During this historic run, many have called out Reese for how she's achieved those high rebounding numbers. The majority of them, critics say, come from grabbing the ball off her own misses. In several instances, she was seen quickly grabbing her own missed shots to inflate her rebounding output. Now, Reese's work ethic is undeniable. Her ability to get into position and secure those boards is impressive. But let's be real, it's a little easier when you know your shot isn't going in when it leaves your hand. And the debate? It's going to rage on, especially if we keep seeing 22 rebound games from Reese on 25% shooting. It wasn't the best look for Angel, especially considering how good she actually is. Reese has already set the WNBA record for consecutive double-doubles, passing Candace Parker in the process. So it wasn't as if her performance in the win over the Atlanta Dream was a landmark moment. It just seemed like she was trying to keep the streak alive, no matter what. Now, whether Reese was stat padding or not doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But what will likely stick with people is how she reached those numbers, not the numbers themselves. Fans have been vocal. One questioned, how can anyone root for Reese after this? Another expressed their disappointment, while a third fan stated, this clip needs to go viral to show the world Reese cares more about stats than winning. Others chimed in, comparing her actions to LeBron's at times, calling her a double-double Barbie, and even labeling her a disgrace. Some critics argue this play was a blatant attempt to pad her stats, and in doing so, undermine the legitimacy of her achievements. At the heart of the criticism is a question of integrity. Does Reese's streak represent true athletic achievement, or does it undermine the spirit of the game?
Mabry. Single digits on the shot clock. Nesky ball help over on Kennedy. Carter going underneath, and that was the
This incident isn't the first time Reese's statistical integrity has been called into question. In fact, her playing style has become a TikTok meme for accumulating what some have called cheap rebounds. And it doesn't end there. Minnesota. Lynx star Nafisa Collier was even accused of helping Reese pad her stats in previous games.